Hello, friends! Welcome back to another Storytime with Miss Poka. Before we get started, grab your favorite snack, your blanket, and your very own copy of Chester's World Beyond Words. Hello, friends! Today I'll be reading Chester's World Beyond Words by Marcus Owens, M.E.D. Chester's World Beyond Words, written by Marcus Owens, M.E.D., and illustrated by Davion Chester. Chester lived in a troubling environment where the streets were unruly and fast paced. Sometimes it felt like there was no room to sit still and think. But today, Chester was holding something new, a book. He had heard from his teacher that books could take you somewhere far away. Could that really be true? At home, things were much quieter. His mom worked hard every day, but they didn't have much time to talk. Chester sometimes felt worried, especially at night when the noises outside made it hard to sleep. He looked at his book. Maybe reading would help him feel better. Maybe it would help him escape. Just for a little while, at least. He flipped over the cover. At first, the letters seemed jumbled, and his mind felt crowded with too many thoughts, like a traffic jam. But then Chester remembered what his teacher had told him. Take it one word at a time. You'll get there. So he did. Slowly, the letters turned into words, and the words began to tell a story. As Chester read, something amazing happened. The scenery changed. Suddenly, he wasn't in his noisy apartment anymore. He was running through a magical forest, just like the one in the book. The more he read, the calmer he felt. The sounds outside faded, and his mind wasn't racing anymore. It was as if the book was helping him find peace in the middle of all the chaos. The next morning, Chester rushed to the kitchen. Mom, I want to read something to you, he said. His mom looked tired but smiled. Okay, Chester, let me hear it, baby. Chester took a deep breath and began to read. Slowly at first, but his voice got clearer with each word. When Chester finished, his mom looked at him with pride. You're getting good at this, she said. Chester balled his fist and swung his elbow to his knees. Yes, I want to keep going, Mom. Maybe we can read together? His mom looked at the book. I think I like that too. That night, Chester and his mom read together. Even with the sounds of the police siren and the noisy neighbors, it felt like they were in a different place, one that was quiet and full of adventure. Reading wasn't just Chester's escape anymore. It was something he could share with his mom, helping them both feel calmer and more connected. At school, Chester carried his book everywhere. Some kids teased him saying, Why do you always have your head in a book? But Chester didn't mind. He had learned something important. Reading wasn't just about escaping, it was about growing stronger, even when things around were tough. While all the other kids were becoming what they saw around them, the noise, the trouble, the streets. Chester was different. He was becoming something new, not from what he saw, but from what he was reading. Chester and his mom started this cool bedtime routine where they'll talk about whatever they read that day. It made reading easier to understand, and Chester started getting better at it without even realizing. Chester had learned that reading could take him to new worlds, but more than that, it made him more confident, gave him peace, and brought him closer to the person he loved the most. Before long, everyone noticed how much Chester's focus, reading skills, and grades improved. With every page he turned, Chester was growing and nothing could stop him. Chester found out that reading kept his mind busy with fun and learning. It also helped him make smarter choices, like picking better friends to spend time with. At school, Chester seemed happier and more focused. His teacher called his mom to ask what has changed. Mom told her Chester had been reading a lot, and even she had noticed his behavior improving. Chester started feeling like he was part of the world in his book. Before long, he began noticing the things in his own neighborhood that reminded him of the magical places he was reading about. The new way of looking at things helped him spot the little bits of good around him, even in a place where it was hard to see. Chester found out that reading could take him to a whole new world, one that was way better than the one he saw every day. Reading was Chester's great escape to the world that he found safe, fun, and full of adventure. The more he read, the more he got to explore it. But to really enjoy this world, Chester knew he had to get better at reading. With every book, he was getting closer to the world beyond words. Friends, wasn't this book amazing? This is actually one of Miss Poka's favorite books. I love traveling to other worlds through books. What is the world that you like traveling to? And what book do you use to get there? I would love to know. Comment below. And if you wasn't able to read along, that's okay. I'm going to put the link below so you can add it to your very own Storytime collection. Bye, friends. Hello friends, Miss Poka has a very special announcement. We will now be raffling away a t-shirt a month to our very own viewers. Go to pokaspeaks.com and upload what was your favorite book on Storytime with Miss Poka.